course. It comes to the idea of like, do you want to be playing on the A team?
Yeah.
Because I don't like this happened with a lot of Twitch stuff. A lot of Twitch people, like Twitch was the main platform, and now they're going over to these arbitrary platforms that like not many people know of. But then the viewership is always lower.
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather get paid? Well, I'll pose a question here. Would you rather get paid less and be on a mainstream platform, or paid more and be on a not so mainstream platform that you don't get heard?
Well, I like that you bring this up because I keep up with a lot of this stuff because I used to do a lot of streaming, right? And then, like I was in that world, and like a lot of these big streamers, like you said, are trying to find their way out of Twitch because Twitch has a hold on the market, and they know they do.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like holding that above the creators' heads and not really seeing the value in the content and in that creation aspect and in that artistic aspect. And Twitch creators, they only get 50% of their subs. The other 50% goes to Twitch now. And Twitch straight up said, we're not re-signing any big deals with any of the big streamers. So like some of the big streamers that pull most of their viewership aren't getting re-signed for these like, you know, however many $1 million deals. So they're just like, well, I can go anywhere else and get a deal then. Like, why would I stick around here? If you're going to take 50% of my, you know, sub wages, and then you're also going to not sign me a deal, like what's the point, right? And then because also they're like, oh, we'll just run out more ads. But then the viewers go, oh, well, we don't want all these ads.
Yeah, you're paying for it. So it's a strange world, the deal world and going over places. I remember when Ninja, like the Fortnite guy, he went to Mixer.
Yep.
That just shows I don't know what Mixer is, and I'm not a huge Fortnite player. I play every once in a while.
That's when I started, was on Mixer.
Got a couple wins, but like, you know, Twitch was, or he was so heavily like the #1 streamer on Twitch for a long time.
Yeah.
And then he went to Mixer, which nobody had heard of at the time, I don't think.
Not really.
And then did a lot of his following move over? Or did he lose a lot of following because of that?
I feel like it trickled out a bit.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, the return on it for him,
he got money.
it was worth it, right?
Yeah.
Because the way that deal worked out too, like there was him and 2 other streamers that like got crazy huge deals for like a couple $100 million. And the way that it worked out was they were supposed to be signed on for 2 years, but the company got absolved and got sold to Facebook. So Facebook bought out the company, which means that they had to get their contracts paid out within like 8 months of signing. So they didn't even do a full year term. And they got the full however $100 million, $200 million or whatever it was for their 2-year term.
Yeah.
And then they got to sign a new deal with Facebook or YouTube or whatever else and like stack on that money as well, which is crazy. So like at the end of the day, you know, the return was worth it, but like I'm sure that like he probably had quite a bit of viewership trickle off when you're going from platform to platform to platform, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, right? If you have a talent, or if you have like an audience and you're able to retain that audience and bring it to different platforms, then the deal is in your hand. You have the most leverage. You're bringing the leverage. You are the leverage.
Yeah.
Right? So when Ninja goes over to Mixture, I feel like his audience is going to come with him because they're invested in Ninja. They're not invested in Twitch.
It's true.
They're invested in what he does and the content that he creates. So it's a business world at the end of the day, right? So if it was for us, like for example, if YouTube's not paying us, right, the what we feel like we're qualified for, then we'll just go somewhere else that we feel valued at.
Okay, so then it poses a question, but is that other platform going to have the same viewership potential as YouTube? Take Mr. Beast, for example, right?
Yeah.
He can go anywhere.
Yeah.
But he chooses to stay on YouTube to post free content because he knows that YouTube is the second most searched engine. Every Android phone has YouTube installed. It's already there. So much more people are on YouTube. So yes, he could cut $1 billion check to go to some arbitrary platform that nobody has heard of. And yes, he'll take a large majority of his audience with him, but he probably won't grow on that platform because that platform doesn't have organic growth.
Right.
So what's worth more?
Well, I think it depends on your mission.
Yeah.
Right? Like if
Depends how big you are. Yeah.
Your mission, how big you are, but it's like, what are you doing it for? If you're doing it for the money, okay, take the check. But if you're doing it, like I think Mr. Beast's mission in particular he's there to make the majority of the people happy, right? He wants to have the biggest impact with his videos, which makes sense, which is why he's on YouTube.
Yeah.
But like, if for example, like a small company that's just trying to make money, you're gonna go where the money is, right?
Yeah.
So like, at the end of the day, your viewership, if you're getting based on your viewership, then stay with YouTube. But if it's based off of money,
I would say it, like you said, it depends on the goal though, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're a established creator with a great following already, like it really doesn't matter where you go at the end of the day. You're gonna have that following follow you, like you guys said.
Yeah.
So take the check.
But would you build more following then?
That's true. That's hard to say though.
You're capped.
Right? Everybody's different.
Yeah.
What if you're happy with 200,000 followers?
Yeah.
You may be happy with, a million or 1.6 million or whatever it may be. And that's where you want to stay at, and you don't care if you grow anymore or what the rate at which you're growing at. It's just the fact that you're trying to retain a certain audience, right? And so like in that case, yeah, I would take the check for sure. But like if I was somebody who's focused on growing, I would obviously take the platform that gets me the most exposure, right?
Yeah.
So
I think it also depends on the stage of where you are. For example, take Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He's a well-established podcast. He knows he has a core audience that's gonna stick to him no matter what platform he goes to.
Yeah.
Whether that's Spotify, whether that's Apple Podcast, no matter where he goes, that audience is coming along. So as long as his core audience is coming, I don't think he cares less about like the average Joe watching into his episode with like Kevin Hart or David Goggins. Like, people are gonna watch that regardless. But he's bringing a core group of people that want to stick to what Joe Rogan's about.
So speaking about the Joe Rogan deal, so I looked into this when it first got announced. $100 million Spotify exclusive, but he was still able to post clips to YouTube. That was one of his things, his team or someone negotiated to say that, listen, we won't post the full, because it used to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
The whole Joe Rogan experience, every video, everything used to be on YouTube, the full 3 hours. They no longer, so the full episode is exclusive to Spotify, but he was still allowed, and that's one of the things that was in the deal that said, I still want to be able to post on YouTube. I still want to be able to post clips, like longer form clips, not the short form. They don't even do short form. Because they don't need it, but they don't even need it. But especially the longer form clips, what we call LCs in our business, they still do that, and to this day they still do that. So it's interesting why Joe Rogan was like, okay, yes, I'll just take the exclusive to Spotify, but he still wants to be posted on YouTube for those reach, because those clips on YouTube still do numbers.
Well, if I recall correctly, it had something. The reason why he also went to Spotify was because he kept getting demonetized on YouTube on certain episodes, and they were getting taken down, and he was getting censored. And he was like, "Come on, man!" Like, so, like some of the stuff he understood, other stuff he was like, "Okay, this seems a little, like pushing it." Like, so I get why he went to Spotify at the end of the day too, because it kind of like same thing with the Twitch values, right? It's like if you're gonna take 50% of the money that I earn, then maybe I'll jump ship, right? Kind of thing. Because like, and a lot of Twitch streamers do get like banned and stuff for like extensive periods of time, and which really hurts their income, right? For silly things. And it's at the end of the day, it's somebody else, another human sitting behind a desk dictating how you operate your own business that you own. And that kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Because who that could be anybody at YouTube, that could be anybody at Twitch, and then they go home and they feed their dog, and you know what I mean? Like, why do they have that sort of power to control your business like that? I don't agree with that. It jeopardizes your livelihood and how you feed your family and stuff like that. So I would definitely put that into consideration, regardless of the money, regardless of the viewership, because if I don't have a show, then I don't have a show, right?
Yeah, that's what you work your life for.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Interesting perspective.
I get it.